Bill Gates is a visionary who transformed the world through technology and philanthropy, says Elon Musk, a fellow innovator. Born in 1955, Gates co-founded Microsoft Corporation, revolutionizing personal computing with software like Windows. His relentless drive and foresight made him one of the world's most influential philanthropists through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, tackling global health and education challenges. In this video, we'll explore 10 of his most powerful quotes that inspire innovation, resilience, and impact. Let's dive in. Quote 1. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. This powerful statement by Bill Gates captures a profound truth about the deceptive nature of success, making it one of his most thought-provoking insights. It serves as a warning to those who achieve great things, reminding them that triumph can cloud judgment and foster overconfidence. Its importance lies in its universal relevance. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or a professional, this quote challenges you to stay grounded and vigilant, no matter how high you climb. At its core, Gates' quote highlights the paradox of success. While it feels exhilarating and affirming, it often teaches the wrong lessons. When you achieve something significant, landing a dream job, launching a thriving startup, or acing a major project, it's easy to believe you've cracked the code to invincibility. Success can inflate your ego, making you think you're immune to failure. Gates, who built Microsoft from a garage idea into a global empire, knows this firsthand. Even he faced setbacks, like the antitrust lawsuits against Microsoft in the 1990s or the initial struggles of Windows. These moments likely shaped his perspective, showing him that success doesn't guarantee future wins. It can blind you to your weaknesses, lull you into complacency, and make you underestimate challenges. Smart people, in particular, are vulnerable because their intelligence often fuels a sense of certainty. Gates warns that this mindset is a trap, one that can lead to costly mistakes. The quote also speaks to the human tendency to bask in victory without reflecting on what made it possible. Success often comes from hard work, risk-taking, and learning from failures, but its glow can make you forget those gritty origins. For instance, a tech innovator might celebrate a breakthrough app but overlook the countless bugs, late nights, and failed prototypes that paved the way. Gates' insight urges you to resist this seduction. Instead of resting on your laurels, you must dissect your successes as critically as your failures. What worked? What could have gone wrong? This mindset keeps you sharp and prepared for the unpredictable twists of life. In real life, this quote offers a roadmap for sustainable growth. If you're a young professional, you might land a promotion and feel on top of the world. But Gates' words remind you to stay humble, ask for feedback, seek out challenges, and never assume you've made it. For entrepreneurs, it's a call to avoid complacency after a successful product launch. Test your assumptions, anticipate competitors, and keep innovating. Students, too, can apply this wisdom. Acing an exam doesn't mean you've mastered the subject. Keep studying, question your methods, and prepare for tougher tests ahead. Gates' own journey reflects this. Despite Microsoft's dominance, he never stopped evolving, transitioning from tech mogul to philanthropist, tackling global issues like poverty and disease through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. His ability to pivot and learn, even after monumental success, shows the power of staying curious and cautious. This quote also encourages resilience. When you believe you can't lose, a single setback can shatter your confidence. But if you see success as a fleeting moment, not a permanent state, you're better equipped to handle failure. You'll view challenges as opportunities to grow, not as threats to your ego. For example, if you're a creative professional who receives praise for a project, don't let it define you. Keep experimenting, take risks, and embrace criticism to refine your craft. Gates' insight pushes you to build a mindset that thrives on continuous improvement, not temporary victories. Ultimately, this quote is a wake-up call to stay grounded, no matter how brilliant or accomplished you are. It reminds you that success is not a destination but a stepping stone, one that can either propel you forward or trip you up if you're not careful. By embracing humility, seeking feedback, and staying open to learning, you can turn Gates' warning into a catalyst for lasting impact. Let this quote inspire you to chase excellence without being blinded by the allure of success. Quote 2. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. This profound insight from Bill Gates underscores a counterintuitive truth that resonates deeply in any endeavor, from business to personal growth. Its importance lies in its transformative perspective. Rather than shying away from criticism or complaints, it encourages you to embrace them as opportunities for improvement. This quote is a powerful reminder that growth often comes from discomfort, making it essential for anyone striving to excel. At its heart, Gates' quote flips the narrative on negativity. Unhappy customers, whether they're users of a product, clients in a service, or even friends offering critique, tend to highlight flaws that success obscures. When things go well, it's easy to coast on praise and assume everything is perfect. But Gates, who navigated Microsoft through fierce competition and criticism, understood that dissatisfaction reveals gaps in your work. During Microsoft's early days, for instance, user complaints about software bugs or clunky interfaces drove innovations that made Windows a household name. These unhappy voices weren't just noise, they were a roadmap to refinement. Gates suggests that criticism, though uncomfortable, is a gift. It forces you to confront weaknesses, rethink assumptions, and innovate. Ignoring it risks stagnation, while embracing it fuels progress. This mindset requires humility, a quality Gates exemplified as he listened to feedback to evolve Microsoft's products over decades. The quote also challenges the instinct to dismiss or avoid unhappy customers. It's human nature to focus on positive feedback and sideline complaints, but Gates argues that the loudest critics often have the most to teach. An unhappy customer might point out a design flaw, a confusing feature, or a gap in service that others quietly tolerate. By listening, you uncover truths that flattery hides. For example, a restaurant owner might hear a complaint about slow service and discover a deeper issue with staff training. A software developer might learn from a user's frustration that an interface needs simplification. These insights, born from dissatisfaction, spark solutions that elevate quality and build loyalty. Gates' own journey reflects this. Microsoft's pivot to cloud computing with Azure came partly from listening to enterprise clients' unmet needs. The lesson is clear: unhappy customers aren't obstacles, they're catalysts for excellence. In practical terms, this quote is a call to action for you to reframe how you handle criticism. If you're running a business, don't just appease an unhappy customer with a refund. Dig into their complaint. Ask questions, analyze their experience, and use it to refine your product or service. For instance, if a client says your app crashes frequently, investigate the bug and improve the user experience. If you're a creative, like a writer or artist, don't shy away from harsh feedback. That critical review might reveal a blind spot in your work, pushing you to hone your craft. Even in personal life, apply this wisdom. If a friend or colleague expresses frustration, listen without defensiveness. Their words might reveal ways you can grow as a communicator or leader. Gates' approach teaches you to seek out the unhappy voices, not just the loudest fans, because they hold the keys to your improvement. This mindset also builds resilience. Facing criticism head-on strengthens your ability to handle adversity without crumbling. You learn to separate your self-worth from external feedback, focusing instead on growth. For example, if you're a student receiving a low grade, don't dismiss the teacher's comments. Study them to understand where you fell short. If you're a manager, don't ignore an employee's dissatisfaction. Use it to improve team dynamics. Gates' success with Microsoft and his philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation shows how listening to tough feedback can lead to world-changing impact. By viewing unhappy customers as teachers, you turn setbacks into stepping stones. Ultimately, this quote inspires you to embrace discomfort as a path to greatness. It reminds you that growth isn't found in applause but in the hard truths of criticism. By listening to your most unhappy customers, whether they're clients, colleagues, or even your own inner doubts, you unlock insights that propel you forward. Let Gates' wisdom guide you to seek out the lessons hidden in dissatisfaction, and watch how it transforms your work, your relationships, and your life. Quote 3. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. This insightful remark by Bill Gates captures a fundamental truth about personal and professional growth, making it a cornerstone of his philosophy. Its importance lies in its universal applicability. Whether you're a CEO, an artist, or a student, feedback is the compass that guides improvement. Gates' words inspire you to seek out honest voices, embrace their insights, and use them to evolve, turning potential criticism into a powerful tool for success. The essence of this quote is that feedback, even when it stings, is the catalyst for progress. Gates, who transformed Microsoft into a tech giant, didn't achieve success in isolation. He relied on the input of colleagues, customers, and even critics to refine his vision. For instance, early versions of Windows faced user complaints about usability, which pushed Microsoft to innovate and create more intuitive interfaces. Feedback, in Gates' view, isn't just advice, it's a mirror reflecting your strengths and weaknesses. Without it, you risk blind spots that stall growth. People who offer feedback, whether through praise or constructive criticism, provide a fresh perspective that challenges your assumptions. This external input helps you see what you might overlook, like a coder missing a bug in their own program or a writer blind to a plot hole. Gates' success with Microsoft and his philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation shows how he valued diverse voices to tackle complex problems, from software glitches to global health crises. This quote also highlights the courage it takes to invite feedback. It's tempting to surround yourself with yes men who affirm your every move, but Gates warns that this leads to stagnation. Honest feedback, even when uncomfortable, forces you to confront truths about your work or character. For example, a manager might learn from a team member's critique that their leadership style feels dismissive, prompting them to communicate more openly. A student might discover from a teacher's notes that their study habits need adjustment. Gates' insight encourages you to seek out these voices, not just from those who agree with you, but from those who challenge you to be better. This openness requires humility, a trait Gates embodied as he navigated setbacks like Microsoft's antitrust battles, using criticism to pivot and innovate. In practical terms, this quote is a blueprint for growth in any area of life. If you're an entrepreneur, actively seek customer feedback to refine your product. Don't just read glowing reviews, dig into complaints to uncover ways to improve, like streamlining a feature or fixing a flaw. If you're a creative, share your work with trusted peers and ask for honest input, even if it's tough to hear. Their suggestions might spark a breakthrough in your art. In personal relationships, invite feedback from friends or family to strengthen your communication or empathy. For instance, if a friend points out that you interrupt too often, use that insight to listen more actively. Even in a classroom, don't shy away from a teacher's critique, use it to sharpen your skills. Gates' approach teaches you to view feedback as a gift, not a threat, and to seek it proactively rather than waiting for it to come. This mindset also fosters resilience and adaptability. By welcoming feedback, you build the ability to pivot when things don't go as planned. You learn to see criticism not as a personal attack but as a stepping stone to excellence. Gates' own journey, from a college dropout to a global philanthropist, shows how feedback fueled his evolution. He didn't just listen to praise, he sought out voices that challenged him, whether from employees or global health experts. This openness turned Microsoft into a powerhouse and his foundation into a force for good. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to embrace feedback as the key to unlocking your potential. It reminds you that no one improves in a vacuum. Growth comes from listening, reflecting, and acting on what others share. By surrounding yourself with people who offer honest feedback and using it to refine your work, relationships, or skills, you can achieve greatness. Let this quote motivate you to seek out those critical voices and turn their insights into your greatest strengths. Quote 4. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. This profound insight from Bill Gates encapsulates a vital principle for growth and resilience, making it a cornerstone of his philosophy. Its importance lies in its call to prioritize learning over fleeting moments of triumph, a mindset that resonates with anyone striving for lasting impact. By emphasizing the value of failure, Gates inspires you to embrace setbacks as opportunities, transforming challenges into stepping stones for success. The essence of this quote is that while success feels rewarding, it's failure that offers the deepest lessons. Gates, who built Microsoft into a global powerhouse, didn't achieve greatness without stumbling. Early in his career, he faced setbacks like the initial struggles of Microsoft's software or the antitrust scrutiny of the 1990s. These moments taught him that celebrating wins is natural, but dissecting failures is transformative. Success can inflate your ego, making you believe you've mastered the game, but it often hides the flaws that need addressing. Failure, on the other hand, lays bare your weaknesses, whether it's a flawed strategy, a misjudged decision, or a gap in skills. Gates' insight suggests that while it's okay to savor victories, you grow most by analyzing what went wrong. For instance, a failed product launch might reveal a disconnect with your audience, pushing you to refine your approach. Gates' ability to learn from Microsoft's missteps, like the rocky debut of Windows 1.0, helped him build better products and strategies, proving that failure is a teacher, not a dead end. This quote also challenges the fear of failure that often paralyzes progress. Society glorifies success. Think of the headlines celebrating billion-dollar startups or viral achievements, but rarely highlights the flops that paved the way. Gates reminds you that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. When you fail, you gain clarity on what doesn't work, which is often more valuable than what does. For example, Microsoft's early mobile operating systems lagged behind competitors, but those failures informed later innovations like Azure's cloud technology. By heeding failure's lessons, Gates turned setbacks into fuel for progress. This mindset requires courage to face your mistakes, analyze them without shame, and use them to pivot. It's about seeing failure not as a verdict on your worth but as a roadmap to improvement. In practical terms, this quote is a guide for navigating life's ups and downs. If you're an entrepreneur, don't just celebrate a successful deal, reflect on the pitches that flopped. What turned off investors? Use that insight to sharpen your approach. If you're a student, don't dwell on a poor grade, study the mistakes in your work to master the material. For creatives, a rejected project isn't the end, dissect the feedback to refine your craft. Even in personal life, apply this wisdom. If a relationship falters, reflect on what went wrong to build stronger connections next time. Gates' own journey reflects this. His pivot to philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation wasn't just built on Microsoft's successes but on lessons from failures, like early missteps in global health initiatives. By analyzing what didn't work, he turned setbacks into solutions that saved lives. This approach also builds resilience. When you prioritize failure's lessons, you stop fearing mistakes. You see them as data points, not disasters. For instance, if you're a manager and a project fails, don't deflect blame. Study what went wrong and adjust your leadership style. If you're an athlete who loses a game, analyze your performance to train smarter. Gates' wisdom teaches you to approach failure with curiosity, asking, "What can I learn?" rather than, "Why did this happen?" This mindset not only drives improvement but also fosters confidence, as you realize setbacks are temporary and instructive. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to reframe how you view success and failure. It encourages you to celebrate wins but to cherish failures even more for their lessons. By analyzing your missteps, whether in business, relationships, or personal goals, you unlock the insights needed to grow. Let this quote motivate you to embrace failure as your greatest teacher, turning every stumble into a step toward greatness. Quote 5. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. This visionary statement by Bill Gates redefines leadership for the modern era, making it a timeless guide for anyone aspiring to inspire and influence. Its importance lies in its forward-thinking emphasis on empowerment over control, a principle that resonates in today's collaborative, innovative world. Gates' words challenge you to lead by lifting others up, fostering a legacy of growth and impact that extends far beyond personal achievement. At its core, this quote shifts the paradigm of leadership from dominance to enablement. Gates, who co-founded Microsoft and shaped the tech industry, understood that true leadership isn't about hoarding power or micromanaging teams. Instead, it's about creating environments where others can thrive. During Microsoft's rise, Gates empowered close associates like Steve Ballmer and countless engineers, fostering a culture of innovation that turned ideas into world-changing products like Windows. His later work with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation further exemplifies this, as he empowered global health experts and communities to tackle issues like malaria and education inequality. Empowerment, in Gates' view, means giving others the tools, trust, and opportunities to excel. It's about recognizing that no single person has all the answers. Progress comes from unlocking the potential of those around you. This approach contrasts with traditional leadership models that prioritize authority, instead advocating for a collaborative spirit that fuels collective success. The quote also reflects Gates' foresight about the future. By referencing the next century, he anticipated a world driven by interconnected systems, diverse teams, and rapid innovation. In such a landscape, leaders who hoard control or stifle creativity risk obsolescence. Those who empower, by mentoring, sharing resources, or amplifying voices, create ripple effects of progress. For example, a leader who delegates meaningful responsibilities to their team not only builds trust but also sparks innovation, as fresh perspectives emerge. Gates' own journey shows this. Microsoft's success wasn't just his coding genius but his ability to empower a team to scale his vision. Similarly, his philanthropy empowers local leaders in developing nations, proving that true impact comes from enabling others to solve problems. This quote reminds you that leadership is measured not by personal accolades, but by how many others you inspire to rise. In practical terms, this quote is a call to action for you to lead with empowerment in any role you hold. If you're a manager, don't just assign tasks. Give your team the autonomy to experiment and grow. For instance, if you oversee a project, encourage to take ownership of key decisions, guiding them without dictating every step. If you're a teacher, empower your students by fostering curiosity, not just delivering answers. Ask questions that spark their creativity. As a parent or friend, empower those around you by listening and supporting their dreams, not imposing your own. Even as an entrepreneur, focus on building a team where everyone's strengths shine, like offering a junior developer the chance to lead a feature. Gates' approach teaches you to prioritize others' growth, knowing that their success amplifies your own. This mindset also builds stronger, more resilient communities. When you empower others, you create a culture of trust and collaboration. For example, if you're leading a community initiative, don't try to do everything yourself. Delegate tasks to volunteers, valuing their unique skills. If you're mentoring a colleague, share knowledge generously, helping them navigate challenges. Gates Foundation empowers scientists and educators to innovate, showing how this approach scales impact. By lifting others, you not only achieve more but also inspire loyalty and creativity, creating a cycle of growth. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to redefine leadership as an act of service. It challenges you to measure your success by the people you uplift, not the power you hold. Whether in business, education, or personal life, embrace empowerment by giving others the confidence, resources, and opportunities to shine. Let this quote guide you to become a leader who doesn't just achieve greatness but creates it in others, shaping a brighter future for all. Quote 6. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important. This insightful quote from Bill Gates, a tech titan who revolutionized the world through Microsoft, carries profound wisdom about the true drivers of education and collaboration. Its importance lies in its reminder that while technology can enhance learning, it's the human connection, embodied by teachers, that ignites inspiration and fosters growth. Gates' words challenge you to value the irreplaceable role of human guidance in a tech-driven world, making it a powerful call to prioritize people over tools. At its core, this quote underscores the limits of technology and the unmatched value of human influence. Gates, whose software transformed how we work and learn, knew firsthand the power of tools like computers. Yet, he recognized that technology alone cannot spark curiosity or build teamwork. A laptop or app can deliver information, but it takes a teacher's passion, empathy, and creativity to motivate students and help them collaborate. Teachers create environments where kids feel safe to explore, ask questions, and learn from one another. For instance, Gates Philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has invested heavily in education, but he's emphasized that technology, like tablets or online platforms, is only effective when guided by skilled educators. A teacher's ability to inspire, adapt lessons to diverse needs, and foster a sense of community is what turns raw information into meaningful knowledge. Gates' insight reflects his own journey. While he built tools like Windows, his success relied on collaborating with motivated teams, guided by leaders who inspired them. This quote also challenges the modern obsession with technology as a cure-all. In an era where schools rush to adopt digital tools, Gates reminds you that gadgets are secondary to human connection. A tablet can't replace a teacher who notices a student's struggle and offers encouragement, or one who designs group projects that teach kids to solve problems together. Technology can amplify a teacher's impact. Think of online resources that enhance lessons, but it's the teacher who brings those tools to life. Gates' work with global education initiatives shows this. In under-resourced schools, where tech is scarce, dedicated teachers still transform lives through creativity and care. The quote urges you to see technology as a servant, not a master, in the pursuit of learning and growth. In practical terms, this quote offers lessons for how you approach education, leadership, and collaboration. If you're a parent, don't just buy your child the latest device. Seek out teachers who inspire them and foster their love for learning. Support educators by valuing their role over flashy tech solutions. If you're a student, lean into the guidance of your teachers, not just the information on your screen. Their feedback and encouragement will shape you more than any app. If you're a professional, apply this wisdom in your workplace. Tools like software or AI can streamline tasks, but it's the human leader, your mentor or manager, who motivates you to innovate and collaborate. For example, if you're leading a team, don't rely solely on project management tools. Inspire your team through clear communication and trust, just as a teacher inspires students. Even in community settings, prioritize human connection. Organize workshops or discussions where people share ideas, not just consume digital content. This mindset also builds resilience and adaptability. By focusing on human guidance, you learn to value relationships over temporary tools. A teacher's encouragement can inspire a lifelong passion, just as Gates' mentors helped him navigate challenges at Microsoft. In your own life, seek out those who challenge and uplift you, whether they're educators, colleagues, or friends. Their insights will outlast any gadget. Gates Foundation supports teacher training because he knows empowered educators create empowered learners, proving this principle scales globally. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to prioritize people over tools in any pursuit. It reminds you that while technology can enhance efforts, it's the human touch, through teaching, mentoring, or leading, that drives true progress. Whether you're learning, leading, or collaborating, value those who inspire and guide you. Let this quote motivate you to seek out and support the teachers in your life, ensuring technology serves as a tool to amplify their impact, not replace it. Quote 7. Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself. This powerful statement by Bill Gates carries a profound message about self-worth and individuality, making it a beacon of inspiration for anyone striving to find their unique path. Its importance lies in its call to reject the trap of comparison, which can erode confidence and obscure your potential. Gates' words encourage you to embrace your distinct journey, talents, and goals, fostering a mindset that celebrates your authenticity over external benchmarks. At its heart, this quote challenges the destructive habit of measuring your worth against others. Gates, who built Microsoft from a bold vision into a global empire, didn't achieve greatness by mimicking others. Instead, he carved his own path, driven by a unique blend of curiosity and determination. Comparing yourself to others, whether it's their achievements, appearance, or status, diminishes your value. It's an insult to your individuality because it suggests someone else's journey defines your success. Gates' insight reflects his own experience. While competitors like Apple or IBM loomed large, he focused on Microsoft's distinct mission to put a computer on every desk. This focus on his own vision, not others' milestones, fueled his breakthroughs. The quote reminds you that your strengths, flaws, and dreams are uniquely yours. Comparing them to someone else's is like comparing a novel to a painting. It misses the point of your singular story. This perspective also highlights the futility of comparison in a diverse world. Everyone's circumstances, opportunities, and challenges differ. Judging yourself against a colleague's promotion, a friend's wealth, or a celebrity's fame ignores the context of your own journey. Gates' own path wasn't linear. He dropped out of Harvard, faced skepticism, and navigated failures like Microsoft's early software struggles. Yet, he didn't measure himself against traditional success metrics. He forged ahead with his vision. Similarly, his pivot to philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation wasn't about outdoing others but addressing global problems in his own way. Comparison breeds envy or inadequacy, emotions that distract you from your purpose. By rejecting it, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your impact. In practical terms, this quote offers a roadmap for living authentically. If you're a student, don't compare your grades to your classmates. Focus on mastering the material in a way that suits your learning style. If you're an entrepreneur, avoid obsessing over a competitor's success. Build a product that reflects your unique vision, just as Gates did with Windows. In your career, don't gauge your worth by a coworker's title or salary. Instead, set personal goals. Maybe it's learning a new skill or leading a project, and measure progress against yourself. Even in personal life, resist comparing your relationships or lifestyle to others' highlight reels on social media. For example, if you feel inadequate because a friend travels constantly, focus on what brings you joy, whether it's a hobby or time with family. Gates' wisdom teaches you to define success on your own terms, not society's. This mindset also fosters resilience and confidence. When you stop comparing, you stop tying your self-worth to external validation. A setback, like missing a promotion, becomes a chance to grow, not proof you're less than someone else. Gates' journey shows this. His failures, like the antitrust battles Microsoft faced, didn't define him against others. They shaped his growth. Similarly, if you face rejection, don't measure it against someone else's acceptance. Use it to refine your approach. By focusing inward, you build a stronger sense of self, unshaken by others' achievements. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to honor your unique journey. It reminds you that comparing yourself to others steals the joy of becoming your best self. Whether you're chasing a career, a passion, or personal growth, embrace your individuality. Define your own metrics of success, celebrate your progress, and let your distinct path shine. Let this quote motivate you to stop looking sideways and start forging ahead, confident that your story is enough. Quote 8. The general idea of the rich helping the poor, I think, is important. This heartfelt statement by Bill Gates reflects a profound commitment to social responsibility, resonating deeply in a world marked by inequality. Its importance lies in its call to action for those with resources to uplift those without, emphasizing the power of compassion and collective progress. Gates' words inspire you to recognize that wealth and privilege come with a duty to give back, fostering a ripple effect of positive change. The essence of this quote is rooted in the belief that those who have more, whether in wealth, knowledge, or opportunity, have a moral obligation to support those who have less. Gates, whose fortune from Microsoft made him one of the world's richest individuals, didn't hoard his wealth but channeled it into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, tackling global challenges like poverty, disease, and education disparities. This quote reflects his philosophy that wealth isn't just for personal gain, it's a tool to address systemic inequities. Helping the poor isn't about charity for charity's sake, it's about creating a more equitable world where everyone has a chance to thrive. Gates' work, from funding malaria vaccines to improving schools in underserved areas, shows how the privileged can drive transformative change. The quote challenges the notion that success is solely personal, urging you to see it as a platform to lift others up. It's a reminder that societal progress depends on shared effort, not isolated achievement. This perspective also counters the temptation to view wealth or success as an endpoint. In a world where inequality is stark, millions lack access to clean water or education, while others live in abundance. Gates' insight calls for action. His foundation's efforts, like providing sanitation solutions in developing nations, demonstrate that helping the poor isn't just altruistic, it's pragmatic. When the disadvantaged gain access to resources, entire communities benefit, economies grow, health improves, and innovation flourishes. Gates' quote suggests that the rich helping the poor isn't a one-way act of generosity but a cycle that strengthens society as a whole. His own journey from tech mogul to philanthropist illustrates this. By investing in global health, he's not only saved lives but also created opportunities for progress that benefit everyone. In practical terms, this quote inspires you to use whatever resources you have, money, time, or skills, to make a difference. If you're financially secure, consider donating to causes that address poverty, like local food banks or global health initiatives. Even small contributions, like $10 a month to a clean water project, can change lives. If you're a professional, share your expertise, mentor a young person from an underserved community, or volunteer your skills to a nonprofit. For example, a graphic designer could create free materials for a local charity, amplifying their impact. If you're a student, advocate for those less fortunate by organizing fundraisers or raising awareness about issues like homelessness. Gates Foundation shows how targeted giving, whether it's vaccines or scholarships, creates lasting change, and you can emulate this on any scale. Even small acts, like tutoring a struggling peer, reflect the spirit of this quote. This mindset also fosters empathy and connection. By helping others, you break down barriers, building a sense of shared humanity. If you're a business owner, consider hiring from marginalized communities or offering internships to those with fewer opportunities. If you're part of a community group, organize drives for essentials like school supplies for low-income families. Gates' work teaches that helping the poor isn't about pity, it's about empowering others to succeed, which strengthens everyone. This approach also builds personal fulfillment, as giving back aligns your actions with a greater purpose. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to see privilege as a responsibility, not just a perk. It challenges you to look beyond your own success and use your resources to uplift others, no matter how small the gesture. Whether through donations, volunteering, or advocacy, you can create a ripple effect of change. Let this quote motivate you to act with compassion, knowing that helping the poor isn't just important, it's a cornerstone of a better world. Quote 9. If you think your teacher is tough, wait till you get a boss. This witty yet profound remark by Bill Gates offers a reality check for anyone navigating the transition from education to the professional world, making it a timeless piece of wisdom. Its importance lies in its ability to prepare you for the challenges of working life, reminding you that the demands of a teacher pale in comparison to those of a boss. Gates' words inspire resilience and adaptability, urging you to embrace challenges as opportunities to grow in a competitive, high-stakes environment. The essence of this quote is a wake-up call about the realities of the workplace. Gates, who co-founded Microsoft and faced intense pressures as a leader, knew that teachers, while demanding, often guide with patience and structure, preparing students for academic success. A boss, however, operates in a world driven by results, deadlines, and accountability. Teachers might push you to study harder or refine your work, but their role is to nurture growth within a controlled environment. In contrast, a boss expects you to deliver under real-world pressures, market competition, tight budgets, or high-stakes projects. Gates' own experience reflects this. As Microsoft grew, he faced relentless demands from stakeholders, competitors, and his own ambitious vision. The scrutiny he endured, from boardrooms to antitrust lawsuits, was far tougher than any classroom critique. This quote underscores that the workplace demands a new level of discipline, adaptability, and grit, as bosses prioritize outcomes over effort, often with less leniency than teachers. The quote also highlights the shift in dynamics from school to work. Teachers provide feedback to help you learn, Bosses give feedback to ensure results. A teacher might allow multiple drafts of an essay, but a boss might reject a poorly executed project with no second chances. This isn't cruelty, it's the reality of a world where performance drives success. Gates' insight prepares you for this shift, encouraging you to see tough bosses not as obstacles but as catalysts for growth. For example, Microsoft's early struggles with software bugs or market competition pushed Gates to innovate under pressure, much like a demanding boss pushes you to refine your skills. The quote also reflects a broader truth. Life's challenges escalate as you move forward, and each stage prepares you for the next. Just as teachers toughen you for school, bosses toughen you for the real world. In practical terms, this quote offers valuable lessons for navigating professional life. If you're a student, don't resent a strict teacher's high standards. Use their feedback to build discipline, like meeting deadlines or improving your work. These habits will prepare you for a boss who expects punctuality and quality. If you're entering the workforce, embrace your boss's tough feedback, even if it feels harsh. For instance, if they critique your presentation skills, take it as a chance to practice and improve, not a personal slight. If you're an entrepreneur, treat market demands like a boss, pushing you to innovate and adapt. Gates' own pivot from tech mogul to philanthropist shows how he embraced new challenges, like navigating global health complexities, with the same resilience he honed under workplace pressures. Even in personal life, apply this mindset. If you face criticism from a mentor or peer, see it as preparation for bigger challenges, like leading a project or resolving conflicts. This approach builds resilience and a growth mindset. A tough boss, like a tough teacher, isn't there to break you but to stretch your capabilities. When you face demanding expectations, say, a tight project deadline or critical feedback, don't shy away. Lean in, learn from mistakes, and refine your approach. Gates' success with Microsoft and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation came from embracing challenges, not avoiding them. By viewing tough moments as training, you develop the grit to thrive under pressure. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to see tough challenges, whether from teachers, bosses, or life, as opportunities to grow stronger. It reminds you that each demanding figure in your journey is preparing you for greater responsibilities. Embrace their expectations, learn from their feedback, and let it shape you into someone ready for the world's toughest challenges. Let this quote motivate you to face every boss with courage, knowing they're forging you into your best self. Quote 10. I choose a lazy person to do a hard job, because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. This seemingly paradoxical statement by Bill Gates is a brilliant insight into innovation and efficiency, making it a standout in his repertoire of wisdom. Its importance lies in its celebration of creative problem-solving, challenging the stigma around laziness, and reframing it as a catalyst for ingenuity. Gates' words inspire you to rethink how you approach challenges, encouraging you to seek smarter, not harder, solutions to life's toughest tasks. At its core, this quote is about the power of efficiency-driven thinking. Gates, who built Microsoft into a tech juggernaut, understood that innovation often comes from finding simpler ways to tackle complex problems. The lazy person in this context isn't someone who avoids work but someone who dislikes unnecessary effort and seeks streamlined solutions. This mindset drove Microsoft's success. Think of how Windows simplified computing for millions by making it user-friendly, a feat that required creative shortcuts, not brute force. Gates' insight suggests that laziness, when channeled correctly, sparks ingenuity. A lazy person might question why a task is done the hard way, leading them to automate, simplify, or reimagine processes. For example, early programmers at Microsoft didn't manually code every function. They developed tools to automate repetitive tasks, saving time and effort. This quote flips the narrative on laziness, portraying it as a driver of efficiency rather than a flaw. The quote also challenges the glorification of overwork. Society often praises relentless grind, but Gates argues that working smarter is more valuable than working harder. A lazy person, in his view, is resourceful. They look for shortcuts, leverage technology, or rethink workflows to achieve the same results with less effort. This approach aligns with Gates' own journey. His philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation focuses on high-impact solutions, like developing affordable vaccines, rather than throwing endless resources at problems. The quote encourages you to value outcomes over effort, recognizing that the most effective solutions often come from those who dare to question inefficient traditions and seek elegant alternatives. In practical terms, this quote inspires you to adopt a mindset of creative efficiency in your life. If you're a professional facing a daunting project, don't dive in with endless hours of grunt work. Pause and ask how you can simplify the process. For instance, if you're tasked with compiling data reports, explore software or templates that automate repetitive steps, saving you time. If you're a student juggling assignments, don't rewrite notes from scratch. Use apps to organize and summarize information efficiently. Even in personal life, apply this wisdom. If you're planning a family event, find ways to streamline tasks, like using online tools for invitations instead of handwritten ones. Gates' approach teaches you to question the status quo. Why follow a cumbersome process when a smarter one exists? His work on global health, like optimizing vaccine distribution, shows how this mindset scales to solve massive challenges. This perspective also fosters innovation and resilience. By seeking easier ways to do hard jobs, you train yourself to think creatively under pressure. If you're an entrepreneur, don't build every feature manually. Use existing platforms or APIs to speed up development, much like Microsoft leveraged partnerships to grow. If you face a personal challenge, like managing a tight budget, look for clever solutions, such as apps that track spending or negotiate bills. Gates' success came from finding shortcuts, whether in code or philanthropy, that maximized impact. By embracing laziness as a drive to innovate, you avoid burnout and unlock new possibilities. Ultimately, Gates' quote inspires you to reframe laziness as a strength, not a weakness. It challenges you to tackle hard jobs with ingenuity, seeking solutions that save time and energy while delivering results. Whether you're working, studying, or navigating daily life, adopt the lazy person's mindset, question inefficiencies, leverage tools, and find the easiest path to success. Let this quote motivate you to work smarter, not harder, and watch how it transforms your approach to challenges, making you not just efficient but brilliantly innovative. Bill Gates' words resonate with timeless wisdom, urging us to embrace failure, seek feedback, and empower others. His journey from a Harvard dropout to a global tech icon and philanthropist shows that true success lies in impact, not just achievement. These quotes aren't just words, they're a call to action. Whether you're chasing dreams, building a career, or seeking purpose, Gates' insights remind us to stay curious, resilient, and committed to making a difference. Let these quotes inspire you to think bigger, act bolder, and shape a better future. Thank you for watching. Now go create your own legacy.